Tent pegging is very exciting. It raises your adrenaline level when you see a horse galloping at a speed of over 800 meters a minute and a rider trying to display his skills by picking up a 4 centimeter wide peg from the ground at that speed.
Tent pegging is a growing equestrian sport in various countries around the globe, but its spiritual home is surely in the Rajasthan region of India.
There are two views to the origin of tent pegging. One dates back to the time when Alexander possibly was invading India and the Indian forces were to put up a resistance against him. So they used horses and lancers to basically pierce the toes of the elephants that were being used by the Indians to create a little disorder so that the elephants could turn around and trample their own army. That is one thought. The other thing with the name being associated with tent pegging is obviously that the old army tactics of launching, pre-dawn strikes. That's when a set of riders which came in as like guerrilla warriors, they would come, upstick the pegs of the tents would collapse, and then the army would follow up and slaughter the guys who were trying to find their way out of the tents.
Although now practiced as a sport, some of the ancient military traditions are still associated with tent pegging.
Since most sports have originated with a military background, similarly tent pegging is possibly the oldest equestrian sport that was being practiced. And when a warrior went into battle, he would use a battle cry or a war cry. And similarly in tent pegging, this war cry was the one which was more of a motivating factor, displaying the man's valor, courage into battle. See, traditional tent pegging was done with the lance, but you can't always restrict yourself to one weapon in war. And so you used not only the lance, you used your sword, and then at times you also used the bayonet which came in later on, which were all weapons of war.
The equine element of the modern sport is quite straightforward.
I wouldn't say that you need any particular breed of horses for this sport. All you need is a good, fast horse who knows how to run straight. For tent pegging, there is no special tack. Like you don't need a show jumping saddle. You do your tent pegging on the basic sawar saddle.
But it does require riding expertise.
Well, I would say you have to be a good horseman to take on this sport, because like all other equestrian sports, which are again time-based, speed and time, here the speeds are very fast. Your show jumping speeds are normally 350 to 400, but here the speed is 800. It's basically again a question of balance. So you are leaning towards one side, at the same time you're not losing your balance so that you fall off the horse. Whereas to pick up something which is on the ground, you have to come down a bit. To quite an extent, I would say, because the peg is just 7 centimeters off the ground.
Tent pegging, like many equestrian disciplines, has an ancient heritage, but it is now a modern sport.
Well, it is both an individual as well as a team event. The team is of 4 riders. So you have team competitions and you have individual competitions. Of late, we've worked together to bring all tent pegging countries on a common platform where we have a common